Just bear with us, they're just updating the speech to council list. They have an updated list. We want to make sure we get the names right, so thank you for your patience.
Is it possible to stream this to the YouTube channel, the City of Rochester YouTube channel? No? Isn't it? How do you do that? How would you go about doing that? Because that would be really helpful. Well, that's Rochester Democratic Socialists. They're streaming on YouTube. I was asking if you all might consider doing that.
Good evening. Welcome to the July 2024 public hearing of City Council sessions. The meeting will come to order, and the City Deputy Clerk, Bridget Birch-White, will call roll. Councilmember Gruber.
Here.
Councilmember Lightfoot.
Present.
Councilmember Lupien. Councilmember Martin. Councilmember Monroe.
Here.
Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Councilmember Smith is excused. Vice President Harris. Here. And President Melendez is excused. Welcome to Speak to Council. All speakers this evening will be given 2 minutes at the podium. Speak to Council is a time for members of the public to comment on any and all matters related to the city. Sign-ups for this session close at 4:30 p.m. this afternoon. The list of speakers can be found at the back of the room on my right and left. And in the hallway, speakers discussing legislation on this month's City Council agenda are placed on the A list. Speakers commenting on all other matters are placed on the B list. Under the City Council rules, the Deputy City Clerk will call city residents first. And since this is a Rochester City Council, we must prioritize our citizens speaking to their elected representatives first. As a reminder, the council is here to listen to all matters, and it is customary that we do not respond. We respectfully ask that each speaker offer council the same respect as they would receive in return. In doing so, please refrain from profanity and other harmful language. Council members have the contact information for all of tonight's speakers and may follow up on any concerns that may pique their interest. City Deputy Clerk Bridget Birch-White will call each speaker to the podium. We ask that you respect the time of those waiting behind you and yield the podium at the end of your allotted 2 minutes. City Deputy Clerk Bridget Birch-White will go ahead and call all the names on the speaker, all the names in the order of what's listed in the Speak to Council list. Read, okay? Louise Morales.
He's not here yet.
David Sutliff Attias. Adams. 80s.
I've been called worse. Good evening. I'm Dave Sutliff-Adius. I live on Kansas Street, and I'm here to present you with an opportunity, the opportunity to be heroes. Now, I assume that y'all are on City Council because you want to be heroes. I get that, but there's an opportunity here. So this is a pretty conservative city. And what I mean by that is when we have a problem, we don't just jump right in and fix it. We study it. We spend 5 or 6 figures to do a study, and it takes our time to find somebody. We do an RFP, and then we do the study, and then we'll do a little bit of it, right? We'll just do a small little, just to try it out and see. And so a few years go by, and we've done a study, and we've done a little bit, and problems still around, maybe even gotten worse. But again, here's an opportunity to be heroes. You have right now in committee good cause eviction legislation, and it has a huge loophole in it. People have been here months and telling you about this, and we need this fixed and passed ASAP, right? I found out this week that Rochester is on pace for 4,000 eviction warrants this year. That's not eviction of individuals, that's families. Now, we take care of this legislation, we fix it and pass it as soon as possible. Not only are you preventing these people from being evicted, you're helping kids who are in RCST. We hear every year how many students are homeless every year, right? These teenagers who are running around acting crazy, it's not gonna solve it, but it's gonna help. It's gonna help with poverty. It's gonna help with folks with addiction, because that concept of housing first, right? You have the power to do this sooner than later. And I know, we also like to make sure we're not the first to do anything. Again, we're kind of conservative. And 4 cities are already doing it, so we wouldn't be first. Be heroes. Thank you.
Elizabeth McGriff. Peter Peters. To be followed by Samantha Dinga.
Vice President Lachey Harris and members of the council, I am the co-chair of Reach Advocacy Team. First, thank you for submitting the good cause eviction law to a committee. But this version being considered leaves a lot to be desired. We need to be sure that all tenants are covered by this law. I remind you of the percentage of your constituents who are tenants. I am here to ask you to strengthen the proposed good cause eviction law. Why am I doing this? In the past 48 hours, I have heard from 4 women who are facing eviction. Their reasons vary, but all have been regular in their rent. Each face a cash problem due to some unexpected event. 3 of these women I met in person and heard their stories. The 4th called me last evening. I have known her for years. She was a long-time guest with Reach. To my knowledge, she has been a steady tenant for more than a year. The cause of her crisis was a death in the family and the cost of burial expenses. She says that her landlord is unwilling to negotiate. She fears she will once again be homeless. Homelessness is increased by 32% in 1 year in Monroe County. From the end of COVID, the rate of evictions have increased. Studies show that Black and Latino women are the largest number of evictions in Rochester. There is a connection between the rate of evictions and increases in homelessness. This increase is costly for the county and the city. Surely it is better to keep people in their homes so that they do not become charged to the public purse. As you review the current bill, please lower the number of units owned and remove what is known as the LLC escape used by unscrupulous. Let's not make Rochester the meanest city in the state.
Samantha Dinga from the South District, followed by Lakeisha Ward.
Hi, my name is Samantha Dinga, and I'm here today to talk about the good cause eviction protections that you have proposed. While I think it's an important start, and unfortunately a start that 4 other cities in New York have already passed with stronger protections than the ones that we have offered, I would love to see those stronger protections mirrored by the Rochester City Council, because I, as a renting tenant in Rochester, I'm not covered by our current proposition because my landlord only owns 1 property. And so because of that, every year I have to worry that even though we pay our rent every time, maybe we don't get to live there anymore. And that doesn't make any sense. I think that there are a lot of co-occurring issues that people have been talking about, including rent stabilization, public utilities, and overall availability of affordable housing. No one should face homelessness, not in Rochester, not ever. Thank you.
Lakeisha Ward is from the South District. Will be followed by Ryan Acup.
Good evening. I'd like to say thank you for bringing up good cause eviction, but it doesn't cover me. You have 10 people or 10 units that cover it. I'm a good tenant. I pay my rent on time, and I'm being retaliated against the management company and the landlord because I've had to call the city twice and RG&E. I have pictures where I had to have my thermostat and everything red tagged. My daughter's autistic. I'm a cancer survivor, stage 4. I got less than 30 days to move out my house. I pay rent on time because I get Social Security disability. I have a master's degree. I taught in the city school district, but because you bring up the weakest good cause eviction, I'm going to get put out on the street. It doesn't cover me. I need this to be amended. I'm not asking you to amend it. I'm telling you it needs to be amended because my daughter can't do change. She's autistic. If I move out to the suburbs, guess what? My $1,600 and the $400 she gets now pays that rent. You want me to move somewhere else in the city? I got to pay $1,800 for trash, and I got to face those people again. So I can't work anymore. I'm 8 years out from being diagnosed. I see my oncologist every 6 months. I'll never hold a job again, but I have a master's degree. But because I reported my landlord, I'm now facing an eviction if I don't move out in 30 days. I have to be out by August 31st. I was told I'm a good tenant. The management company said, go ahead, do it. I need you to move, we'll put you somewhere else. Guess what? They have no place else. My daughter screams, she stems. How would you like to live next to somebody that screams at 2 o'clock in the morning? Because I'm the mother and I don't like it. But because you have it written there that is 10 units, I won't get covered. I'm going to get put out. I have no place to go, and I have a degree. I'm one of those people that I fall through the cracks. I need you to fix this because without this being passed immediately, my children are homeless. We have nowhere to go. So I'm asking you to please pass this as soon as possible and put it down as strong as possible. It needs to be at least 1 unit per landlord because if not, they're going to fall through the loopholes, and I already know several that will do it. Thank you.
Ryan Acup. Ryan Acup. Justine Harris. Oh, Ryan's here. Okay. Ryan Acup is from the East District and will be followed by Justine Harris. And if I could ask all the speakers to please speak directly into the microphone.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Yeah, good evening, members of council. Just here to speak about good cause eviction protections. As I'd said previously, I'm really excited to see this moving forward. For a lot of us, we've been working on this for 7 years, and we're kind of at a critical juncture here, through amending the state law, giving this opportunity for the city to protect its residents, the health and safety of the residents. 4 other cities have now passed it over this summer, and we're hoping that Rochester can do this, but also do it the right way. And building off what's already been introduced, passing the strongest version that's eligible under the state law. In particular, making sure that it can make sure it covers the most tenants. As it's written now, it would probably exempt about 35,000 tenants. And that doesn't even count with the LLC loophole that if the landlords break things down further under smaller and smaller units, it's almost impossible to track and enforce. So that's why we really want the strongest version possible that's going to protect the most people and really leave a legacy for the city to start moving in the other direction. As of right now, Rochester is on pace for, as far as warrants of eviction, for the most evictions in the history of the city, for non-payment evictions and for holdover evictions. This is obviously not the direction we wanted to go in. We talked about wanting to come out of this pandemic in a better place than where we came in, a more economically and racially just system, and we're coming out of it with a more unjust system. This is something concrete the city can do, and this is something we hope we can work together to pass this in August. As landlords have already said that they're going to preemptively raise the rent unless we can do this. Thank you so much. So thank you.
Justine Harris. Justine Harris is from, is she here?
No.
Okay. Liesl Coleman. From the South District, and followed by Cassandra Christian.
Good evening, City Council. It's good to see you all again this month. I am here in strong support of passing the strongest possible version of good cause eviction. Ryan just mentioned the LLC loophole. I know I've talked to many of you who have seen that it is super easy to make an LLC and it's super easy to hide behind LLCs in order to say that you have less units or less businesses that are associated with you. So I'm worried that even if for the average tenant, if you went and looked on your building block system the City of Rochester provides, it is still difficult to tell how many units your landlord actually owns. For example, we held a rally yesterday with a mom who her landlord only has 5 units, and her termination was at the end of June. So the more information I've been hearing about our homelessness rates this year, the more information I've been hearing about the massive amounts of evictions that we're going to be seeing, we have to find solutions that don't put more people onto the streets. Right now, family shelters, folks are in them for like a year. There is no place for people to go because of the rates of rents in Rochester and because of the quality of the housing. If people get put out because they call code enforcement, then our quality of housing is not going to improve because we won't be able to hold landlords accountable for these situations. My landlord only owns 2 units. He wouldn't be covered by this right now. And so many other tenants like myself deserve to have the safety and stability of knowing that our lease is going to be renewed and knowing that because we're good lease abiding tenants, that we can't just be kicked out of our homes. So I'm pleased asking you, just like Albany, Kingston, Ithaca, and Poughkeepsie, pass the strongest possible version of good cause to protect as many tenants as we can and to avoid this LLC loophole.
Cassandra Christian. Yadira Susset. Amber Arce.
Hello and good evening. My name is Amber Arce. I am 19 years old and Latina and a student at Monroe Community College. I'm the second oldest child of Yadira Susset, and I'm speaking today to spread awareness on the importance of passing the good cause eviction bill. My mother has been repeatedly berated by our landlords who have tried to evict her twice, sending out multiple 90-day notices and giving my mom no clear answer on why she's being evicted, other than they want her out, which gives 0 grounds for eviction, yet they have tried to push us out of our home twice. My mom is a single parent of 8, taking care of 7 of us, which puts a lot of stress on her. To add an unjust eviction notice is just plain wrong. To her other focuses as a mother, causing her to spiral into almost daily anxiety and panic. My mother was supposed to be here today, but couldn't attend because of her exhaustion from the events of this eviction notice. I'm here today to speak on behalf of her and family like ours. My mother is a good tenant who always pays her rent and never causes trouble, which adds on to the fact that there is no grounds for this eviction other than greed and pride. We are here today to call on the City Council to stop unjust evictions like ours and to pass this bill like it already has for other parts of New York State. Eviction with no time to find safe, affordable housing for big families like ours does not only put stress on our mother, but us kids. The fear of being homeless is real and scary, and no child should ever worry about where they will be laying their head at night. Please do what you can to help pass this bill. Thank you for giving me the time to speak. Have a wonderful day.
Shay Smith, or Shashi Smith. Wanda Cooper. Wanda Cooper is from the Northeast District and will be followed by Matthew Simpson. Wanda Cooper, are you here? I thought I saw you wave and say you were here. No, Wanda Cooper. Okay. Matthew Simpson? Matthew Simpson. Sonia Singleton. Sonia Singleton is from the Northeast District.
Hello, my name is Sonia Singleton. I live on Water Street in one of Buckingham's properties. I've had problems with my apartment since before COVID. The roof has leaked, the furnace hasn't worked. We have a rodent problem, and it's like the property owners could care less. It's like you could keep sending messages, send pictures, and they won't do anything about it. But what they're doing is raising people's rents that's complaining by $300. So it's like, and what we found out is everyone's rent is going up differently. Some people, when it was time to renew their lease, they weren't charged anything, but everyone else, there was additional fees. They wanted to go up on fees for water. We pay our own gas and electric, but they wanted us to pay for heating the hallways, for trash, and water. So it's like every time you turn around, there's additional fees that shouldn't be added to our rent. We never know when. They're not doing a year lease. They're changing the lease whenever they decide they want to renew it. So there's a lot of issues that's going on that we're trying to solve, but the landlord won't say anything because he figures that if he says anything, that he's incriminating himself. So he says, oh, we know about the issues, but nothing is, they're trying to do better, but they need to do much better. Thank you.
Oscar Brewer Jr.
City Council, good evening. I'm a pleasure to be here. I mean, congratulations and thank you for bringing this into committee. So now let's do like Albany and our three other cities down here. We have a chance to be city number 5 to stop these predatory evictions, to keep children in housing. Isn't that what we want? Or do we want children on our streets homeless, living in shelters for actually about 2 years, if not longer, if you look at your current studies? 1 out of 5 to 10 students are homeless already in our city school district. Are we going to increase those numbers or decrease them? You have a chance to do something that's never been done in the history of the city of Rochester. Wouldn't you want your name on that? Can you imagine the headlines in the newspaper? City Council unanimously passes good cause evictions where all units are covered. All units are covered. Not 10 no more. Let's stop covering these landlords' behinds, please. I stand here representing all families that fought against evictions last year, petitioning for office just to be evicted by a slumlord that lives in London, England. You guys had a chance then to do something. Eviction rate, well, the warrants of evictions, close to 4,000. Is that what we really want on our grave when we go to our grave? As elected officials, is that what you want to carry home with you at night? Because that's what you're doing. Stop playing into the hearts and the pockets of these slumlords and these LLCs and serve the people that elected you. It's not that hard. You got a pen. Say we're going to do all units. We're going to get rid of this LLC loophole. It can be done. It's been done in the capital, New York State. Governor Hochul said, here, do this. You have my permission to do this. Do we need more public forums? Wasn't we just a couple years ago on Zoom asking you guys to vote good cause? You turned it down 6-3. You have a chance to do something for the children of the city. That's going to be your futures, my future. Thank you.
Michael Lohr is from the East District, followed by Robert Henderson.
Oh, started already? Shoot. Okay. Can I get? I wasn't ready. Could I get a start on that, please? I wasn't even at the mic. Really. Thank you very much. While it may not be public knowledge yet, we understand that a new director, Stacy Papalopoulos, has been hired at Rochester Animal Services. Could this be reason for celebration? We'll have to see, because as you remember, the shelter recently had an honest-to-goodness vet who was well-liked, cared about the animals' welfare and the staff and volunteers as well, along with a passion for improving the shelter itself. We all know how that ended, and it's not the story that Shirley Green told us at the town hall meeting on Thursday, May 30th. Dr. B did not leave to pursue a career advancement. Dr. B was basically forced out due to complete lack of managerial support. So as the shelter adjusts to a new director, Voiceless of Verona Street and its 1,000 followers will be watching closely. The new director must be given the autonomy to implement the much-needed policy changes at the shelter. And when these policy changes occur, a corresponding budget must accompany these requests. Equipment, personnel, whatever is needed must be supported. Upper management, especially Mayor Evans, can no longer hide behind these walls of justice and deny the animals and the people which are trying to care for them the respect and care they deserve. And let's not forget the critical puzzle piece that's missing. Still no vet on the site. It's embarrassing to actually say these words. Our city shelter has no vet. Among the nation's animal shelters, we in Rochester are a joke. It's absurd. I mean, do hospitals run without doctors? No. Thank you. Again, we will keep a close eye on the progress of the shelter under the direction of the newly hired director. And if Shirley Green or any other official impedes the desperately needed progress, you will become even more tired of hearing from us. Our mission at Voices of Verona Street for the past 3 years has not and will not change. To fight for the rights of the animals and the people that care for them, and you should all do the same.
Robert Henderson is from the South District and will be followed by Darius Constantine.
Hi, my name is Robert Henderson. I'm here to speak about reparations for foundational Black Americans. I'm here to speak about reparations for foundational Black Americans within the city of Rochester, New York. We know that November is going to be just around the corner, and it looks like Joe Biden is out of here, and we know who's going to be the next president. So that means, you know what I'm saying, if he's out of there, that might drag some of y'all out of office too. Because, you know what I'm saying, we're not voting as you know what I'm saying, period. We just gonna stay home this election. You know what I'm saying, we're gonna stay home next election if we don't get what we want to get. We're gonna stay home the next election after that. You know what I'm saying, and that's gonna be a growing problem, you know what I'm saying, for the next coming elections. That's gonna be a growing problem for the Democrats. You know what I'm saying, because we ain't voting Republican, we just stay at home. You know what I'm saying, so either y'all can deal with it or, you know what I'm saying, y'all get them checkbooks ready. You know what I'm saying, it's up to y'all. Y'all have a nice day.
Darius Constantine. Carl Giardino. Carl Giardino is from the Northwest District.
I am here again to ask that City Council and the Mayor prioritize public safety. We must do more to assure the safety of our residents and our visitors. Let's face it, we are resilient, but many of us are living in fear. We have pockets of crime in every neighborhood in Rochester. We all know where they are, but they continue to exist and some even flourish and continue to expand, yet nothing, if anything, seems to be done to correct or improve them. Knocking down and eliminating houses and buildings does little to improve our city. Restoration and repair make more sense to us. If you want to eliminate something, start with the bad guys, not their hangouts. Has anyone ever considered an 11 p.m. curfew for 17-year-olds and younger? We would like more foot patrols in our problem areas. We want police dogs, maybe from Verona Street. We want mounted police. We want police bikes and motorcycles. We want more police. We don't want crime. We don't want tinted auto glass. We don't want speeding and running red lights. We don't want loud cars nor loud music. We don't want illegal parking. We don't want illegal vehicles. We don't want loitering and panhandling. We want law enforcement and more support for it. And we'd also like to have our fire hydrants painted down in Charlotte. They look a little ghetto, if you know what I mean. Thank you.
Emmanuel Astor. Marcus C. Williams. Marcus C. Williams is from the South District.
Whose little bug is this thing here? Is this city council's? Whose is this?
One of the people in the audience put it up.
I'd like it removed. Nobody else outside of here has my permission to record me or anything like that. Or use my likeness or image.
Who's this belong to?
Good evening. Hey everybody, my name is Marcus C. Williams. I'm here to speak on the crime. The crime in our community is today we just had police ambulance today in the traffic system. This is very, very serious because people are being encouraged to do more crime because crime is not making much. Because crime is not making much, people are seeing crime and they're like, hey, maybe I can commit crime and get away with it too. And this is because of the laws that we have at the state level and the state assembly. We've got bill reform lessons, more raise aid, and all these other downward laws, which may have been good intentions, but they are very serious in being implemented in a way that is faulty and deteriorating our society. But that's not being addressed because it seems as though the people that are in power prefer to let our neighbors be our neighbors and our neighborhoods be destroyed and downtrodden so that they can be replaced by other people and redevelop. It's basically urban renewal parks. Okay? And that's what we're seeing all across through all of our communities. People are being pushed out of their homes because of the high crime, because of the drugs, and because of all of this stuff, only for new developments to be going up, to be putting up more prices in the same neighborhoods, which have been already underserved, which have been under-released, and not adequately handled as far as the crime goes. I ask you guys and I implore you guys, please publicly unite and stand and do press conference once a month against these criminal justice reforms, allegedly, as they call them, and publicly say we need these things amended. They refuse to address it at all. They're very clearly harming our neighborhood. Okay? Please do something. And lastly, please don't forget us, that we are citizens and that we have families that are affected by the drug crime in the city. So please take an issue with that, with our assembly team. Thank you.
Fritz Gunther is from the East District and will be followed by Gail Urso.
Hello, thank you. Yes, my name is Fritz Gunther. I'm in the East District. I'm talking about the Police Accountability Board. The position for the East District has been vacant for almost 2 years now. Approximately 6 months ago, I answered the call to apply for that open position, an open position that the council has 60 days to fill that position. It's been nearly 2 years since that position's been filled. Our East District is unrepresented on that board. I've went through the interview process. I've put out calls to all of you. Letters, emails. I've gotten very, very few responses. I've had a few responses, but nothing of substance. And the answer I received is that you're waiting for more applicants to apply for that position. Meanwhile, because it's an important position. Meanwhile, the position's vacant. So how important is that to you to leave that position vacant for nearly 2 years when you have valid applicants? I'm willing to do it. It's a volunteer position. I'm willing to provide my time and my expertise to be in that position. Again, I've reached out to all of you, and I haven't heard anything other than we're putting the call out to see if anybody else wants to be on that board, and I've heard nothing. So I've had to come down here to address all of you, to maybe remind you that it's an open position. We love to represent the East District. I appreciate all of your service. But please, fill that position, whether it's me or somebody else. If you have applicants, you have 60 days. That's what the city charter mandates. 18.4.k mandates 60 days to fill a vacancy. It's been almost 2 years. So, thank you.
Gail DeUrso. Gail DeUrso from the East District, and then we follow by Tiara Grayson.
My name is Gail Terso. I am the founder and president of ROC We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We stay and neuter the outdoor cats that are free roaming within the city limits of Rochester. Since our inception in February of 2022, we have trapped and stayed and neutered close to 1,300 cats in 2.5 years. The reason I'm here tonight is because 75% of these cats have been returned to the streets to live out their life. They're not adoptable. Under New York State Agriculture and Markets Law 253, the cats, the community cats, the free roaming cats are to be protected the same as pet cats. They are companion animals. They are the same species as pet cats. We are in the process of putting together a working group with Rochester Animal Services, Lollipop, 19 Ward Community Cats, and other small rescues that work within the city. We will be getting an invite. We hope that somebody from the city council will come and meet with us as we discuss our ideas and share some ideas from other municipalities and how they care for their outside pets to make sure that they are adequately fed and have insulated shelters, at least in our environment. This is also a very, very important public health measure, as all of these cats that are staying neutered are also vaccinated for rabies. So thank you, and please look forward to that next time.
Tiara Grayson. Tyrese Gibson. Oh, okay.
I want to know if anybody up here
Can you please speak into the mic?
does anybody up here on the panel identify as being black by a show of hands? Just black, native black, no spin-off, no minority, no feminist group, no nothing, just black. Can I see those hands again? Only one? One person on the panel is black? Mr. Patterson, you're not black? Are you black, Mr. Patterson? Mr. Patterson, are you black? Incredible. Any more black people up here? Ms. Harris, are you black? You're black? Okay, and Mr. Lightfoot is black? Okay, I just want to know, I want to piggyback off what they said with the crime with the police. What happened today, that's not the way, okay? That's inappropriate, but guess what? When they find out who did it, they're not going to say we found one or two minorities that did it. They're gonna say be specific, you know, and that could be any race, you know, but they're gonna be specific. I need the people that's up here that identify as black, or it's not even worth talking about it, or talking with y'all, to let me know what issues, what are you guys gonna do collectively to, for our issues. No spin-off, no nothing, directly for our issues as black people. Okay? I want to know what things like Fifth Avenue, Portland, Joseph, anybody on the show they have and say they represent that area? Anybody up here? Ms. Mary, do you represent?
Mr. Gibbons, we're not going to reply, we're just here to listen.
Okay,
People will follow.
I'm just a little lost on just the area that's being represented. We're just not being represented in the right area, and that's all I wanted to say today because Ain't nobody black up here.
Pablo Burgos, Cheryl Robinson. Cheryl Robinson.
All the support, if you do need help.
Cheryl Robinson from the East District.
Let me just say this so I don't forget. I was asked why Mary Lou King would pick the same day as National Night Out for the Good Cause Eviction Forum. I said, you have to talk to her. Mary, it's just not good look. Now, for what I really came for, it's just a cat. It's just an old cat. It's just a blind cat. Now it's just a dead cat. His head bashed in and mutilated, and the body has not been found. The community cat policy that the city has for cats is inhumane. The treatment of dogs, even though there's rules, regulations, policies, and procedures, are barely being enforced. There are many groups that are desperately trying to ensure a fair quality of life for these pets, many of whom have been discarded out to the streets when people move. I am again asking for the council's commitment to work with these groups, mainly Suzanne and the voiceless of Verona. Please, we have to do better than this. Continuing to ignore is only making this whole problem worse and the neighborhoods worse. I don't have any pets, but I have a heart, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
Greg Holmes is from the Northwest District and will be followed by Ingrid Phillips.
Good afternoon. I realize that a lot of areas should be on that line fails. I'm sorry. There are a lot of issues here that line fails in comparison. I'm simply here today to talk about the parking. I live at 900 block, 18-year resident, retired 900 block today because I have a problem with parking and I have, I'll say the neighborhood, 13 plus vehicles that are unregistered or what have you, a lot of violations. And I don't know if this is the proper forum, but I need direction. I've notified the code enforcement, neighborhood association, parking violation bureau, the police department. They've been of some assistance, but every day I get up, I can't get out of my driveway safely because there are certain city codes that they violate this particular 5 feet encroachment into your driveway. I have to park my car down the street about 200 to 250 feet to walk home. I can't even use my driveway. I would like to be someone to intercede and help me resolve this issue because actually the individual is intentionally doing this and I can't get the assistance, so I need someone to intercede to help resolve that. And the other thing I was going to say, I'm only shortening it down because I got 2 minutes, but that's a secondary roadway for the law enforcement emergency vehicle, and it creates a safe, unsafe environment. If kids on the street go away, so I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I do need someone to come in and intercede and help resolve this issue. I represent other neighbors, and so I didn't probably I didn't say certain things appropriately, but I just need assistance. That's the thing. I'm sure it's time, so I'll be able to talk about the issues.
Ingrid Phillips from the Northeast District.
Good evening, council members. Today I'm here to say thank you for assisting me with the issue I was facing RG&E. Although the issue was partly resolved, but I'm so grateful that my concern was addressed. Secondly, I would like to recommend that the city give a special recognition to Mr. Jones and his team from Clean Sweep. They went beyond their duty to restore my community garden. Lastly, thank you again for allowing the residents to access the vacant lots. Quality resources from Ms. Powell, Tapper, tool shed, and water credits. I really appreciate it because with my injury, I am so able to go to the garden and also want to the county. So I'm very, very grateful and thank you for what you're doing.
Ryan Primus.
Primus.
Ryan Primus from the town of Greece.
Good evening. Good evening, council members. My name is Ryan Primus, and I'm the CEO of Primus Women Mothers. My name is Ryan Primus, and I'm the CEO of Primus Women Mothers with extensive experience in both residential and commercial work. I'm eager to expand my business into a new era. My true passion lies in supporting re-entry men and women for a second chance. I'm excited about the prospect of collaborating with the City of Rochester and other organizations to explore government contracts that can benefit our community. I believe that together we can create opportunities for growth and development. I would greatly appreciate it if my representative could reach out to discuss this matter further. Thank you for considering my proposal. I look forward to the opportunity to work together on a positive impact on our community. Thank you.
Zoe Cristanis from the town of Chilide, to be followed by Albert F. Aaron.
Good evening. Our group has been advocating for changes at RAS for 3 years, yet conditions have gotten worse with the loss of a wonderful veterinarian, shortages in staff and volunteers, lack of management, and lack of funding. I know the clinic has been updated, but the whole building needs renovation, addition, or replacement. Since the mayor did not approve funding for additional animal care techs that are needed, it is realistic to assume nothing else will be spent on the facility. With the lack of space and continued absence of a vet, animals continue to be adopted out without being spayed or neutered. Yes, some people are using them to breed further, adding to the animal overpopulation crisis, further adding to the euthanasias of perfectly adoptable animals for space. RAS also continues to house dogs and crates in the hallways due to lack of space. Is the city planning to remedy this, and if so, how? On a brighter note, I understand that a new director has been hired, one that was favored by staff and volunteers, and I thank whoever allowed them to have a hand in this selection. She will have her work cut out for her, and I hope the city will offer her all the support she needs and value her and her ideas. It still seems that the city is incapable of running a proper animal shelter. There is too much on your plate, and it will never be a priority. The building, staff, and the animals need more attention and funding than Rochester is willing to provide. Take it off your hands and relinquish it to Lollipop or another non-for-profit. I know some of you up here genuinely care, and we appreciate you. I ask you to please push the mayor for this, for the animals and for the community. Thank you.
Albert Elgarin. Russell Kelly. Kevin Lockhart. No Kevin Lockhart?
Oh, no, sorry, is it Mike?
Yes, it is.
We are the United States of America, but I feel like we are not the United County of Monroe. I'm here to address an urgent crisis regarding how seats are under-apportioned to Rochester residents living in Monroe County city districts in the legislature, and remind you of the devastating consequences disenfranchisement produced by the disenfranchisement. Our New York Declaration of Rights states, "No member of this state shall be disenfranchised or deprived of any of the rights or privileges secured to any citizen thereof, unless by the law." The Monroe County Legislative Assembly consists of roughly 220 seats across the county, but only 9 seats in the city, and another 7 on the school board for a city of 200,000 residents. Only 16 seats are apportioned to city residents who represent 25% of the county population. 16 seats out of more than 200 across the county. This legislature has become the law that deprives. 6 specific districts are systematically repressed and underrepresented in the county legislative assembly. County residents call them no-go zones. The county legislature refers to these restricted election districts as black districts. This glaring disparity in treatment historically toward melanated roughly speaks to a deep-seated racism in the structure of this legislature and how our community is represented and served in government. The New York State Declaration of Rights states nothing contained in the Constitution is to be construed to prevent the legislature of any state from passing laws at its discretion from time to time to divide such state into convenient districts and apportion representatives to and among such districts. The elected seats outlined in the county legislative directory are not just political positions. They represent public trust accounts managed on behalf of taxpayers, billions of dollars. They work against us when they don't include us. In 2021, we witnessed the chief legislative analyst and chief of staff for city council pass a motion to cut the Rochester Police Department's budget by 50%. Today, American Rescue Plan taxpayer dollars are being misappropriated by nonprofits acting in place of elected officers and committees. Who's really profiting from restricting the seats in the legislature? We all need to join forces across the county, create elected seats in the county legislature to include City of Rochester residents, particularly.
Thank you.
Just rewind it and watch this slow.
Louise Morales. Louise Morales is from the Northeast District.
Good evening. I had a lot that I wrote about, but first of all, it's Ms. Morales, I'm tired. I want to speak about good cause. I want to speak about the redlining that you did when you tore Clarissa and Ford Street up, and you put houses there. Looks like to me you're stacking people on top of people, and you're squeezing them. They're living in shoe boxes to that castle in the sky. We moving on up. We're not moving out. We're like eagles in a chicken coop, and you're clipping our wings. We need to spread out. We need houses like we built in Cornhill. You put us right around the corner from the jail. We're in that vicinity where you can just pick us up anytime. We helped build Rochester. People that was here when I came, I watched them build. I'm one of the ones that lived on Clarissa. I watched you tear it up. I'm one of the people's homes you bought. And you're still doing it. I was with some of y'all's fathers growing up. I've been here. And I sat and break bread with a lot of them sitting here. These people need their rights to have the good cause eviction passed. They need rent stabilization. They need houses. They have to want apartments or houses. What's standing people up? You don't stand up yourself. Y'all got houses. You know, and stop with the rent stuff. Every time you turn around, there's a raise on this. Raise the money you give it up. Everybody's not crooks in here. Some people know how to live decently and build. So I'm asking that for y'all, The mayor, what are y'all doing? Sitting out just, shuffling papers back and forth between each other. Passing this on the code department. What are they doing? They're getting paid for doing nothing. They're along with Section 8. It's a violation. Stay there. Do something. If you're elected to do something, do it.
Elizabeth McGriff. She is from the East District.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth McGriff, and I just came for you to implement the cause and stabilization fund in your community. Since this year, there's been about 4,000 not just evictions. Well, evictions where the sheriff showed up and evicted families, 4,000. 4,000 families have been rendered homeless in our community. So to the rate of the number of people being evicted, how many new housing opportunities are happening in our community? We hear the mayor talk about homeownership. What is being put in place of that happening for a lot of people in our community? The other thing is good cause would help people stay in their homes, stay where they live, stay in the community. Sometimes people have made neighbors, they've made friends, they've made associates, they've kind of welded themselves within the community. And for every time that happens, then they have to deal with an eviction because the landlord wants to get a better price, raising the rents where it's too high and it's not stable or sustainable for them. So we want you to pass good cause, condition protection, and not the one at the state level. We want per unit, 1 unit, to include everybody. The current standard, what they have now, is not enough to protect as many tenants as they can. So 1 unit to protect all our tenants. And thank you.
Justine Harris. Justine Harris is from the Northwest District.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's been a while since you've seen my face. I've been busy trying to get my life back on track due to the horrible housing crisis. And I just want to say that Rochester, New York definitely needs good cause. I myself shouldn't have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to pay rent. Because it makes no sense. And I want to say that I appreciate those that stood up for my family and hope to get out of 5 Taylor Street. However, where I'm at now kind of reminds me of 5 Taylor Street because there's a lot of issues at hand. I felt like I was failed because the city didn't go and check the property and unit to make sure there were no violations. Why should I have to do y'all job? Y'all guaranteed me that y'all have my back and you let me down. But it's okay because better days are coming. There's a lot of diversity here in Rochester, as well as racism. But diversity, when you think of diversity, it's like us being invited to the party, right? Then you have inclusion. It's being asked to dance, right? But inclusion is more than that. It's part of being on the party planning committee. And that's what we need for each one of y'all that is sitting here looking me in my face and the other people who are here to say what they feel from their hearts because we're tired. We're tired of hearing Mayor Malik with all these outdated lies because housing is not affordable. It's not affordable. The rent is too damn high, right along with the crime in my neighborhood. You know, 2 weeks after I moved into my unit, I could have lost my life from a drive-by bullet. I'm not a criminal. I'm a single mother who just wants some help. And we're depending on y'all to do the right thing. Stand up and do your job or get the hell about your seats.
Christian. She is from the Northeast District.
I'm here on behalf of
7 kids. And I know it's very hard for kids to, handle things when their parents are under stress and things that you have to over and over. I've been in the school district for a while, I'm subbing now, but I've seen kids come to school 7:30 in the morning and they're sleeping. And they go right to sleep and sleep until lunchtime. You don't know how their life is. I don't know how it is, but for the last 4 months of school, I've seen a student come in basically every day, go into the tent, go to sleep. 7 years old. And it has to be something going on at home. You don't know if there's other people living with them, maybe he doesn't have a bed to himself, but it's a lot going on. It really is, and it's affecting the kids. They pack bags, send them food home on weekends. That's just something that shouldn't be happening. All food stamps around here in Rochester, and it's just sad to see everything that's happening here. And I've been here since '59, young girl, saw a lot of things where Rochester was a place to come and get help. And nobody was carrying out all this different stuff that's going on. It's really sad to my heart to see this. And there's a lot of older people that have to take care of their brains.
Yadira Susset,
That was my mom.
not here?
Nope.
Okay. Tiashi Smith, or Tisha Smith, Tiashi. From, you don't know.
Hi, my name is Tisha Smith. I'm up here about the slum landlords. I stayed at Hudson 1014 Hudson Avenue. I was disciplining my son, and the landlord gave me 30 days out. I don't understand why. I don't know. I need to fix that or something. Because these landlords is getting away with evicting us for no reason. And then now I'm homeless. So now I got nowhere to stay in the process. Y'all still real good. I'm not. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna sleep at. All because I was trying to discipline my son. That's all I have to say.
Matthew Simpson? Matthew Simpson here? Wanda Cooper? Wanda Cooper? Oh, you are here? Not here, okay. Darius Constantine? Emmanuel Astor? Tiara Grayson? Pablo Burgos? Albert Algarin? And Russell Kelly?
We have reached the end of our speaker council session. Thank you very much to all who attended and participated tonight. The next regular council meeting will be Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the chambers.
So just to be clear, you're not going to pass the cost tonight. Because you're less than worthless, the city council is less than worthless. You're not going to pass good cause because we just said here we pay you to do absolutely